Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another lesson. So, today I'm here to answer your questions and help you become a better speaker, which hopefully leads you to just being a more confident communicator. Okay, so today's lesson is how to deliver a great speech or presentation with little to no practice time, right? And I think this is a tip that everyone wants. Everyone wants the key or the formula to being able to deliver a great speech with little or no practice time, which is understandable, right? We want results quick with as little effort as possible. So let me help you out. Okay, let's just dive into it. Number one is create a speaking outline. Now, what is a speaking outline? Simply put, it is a post-it or note card of just key speaking points. It's like bullet points or numeric points. And I'm pretty sure you all are used to it. It's just little notes that you jot down. Now, literally, the beautiful thing about creating a speaking outline is you can just grab a note card, little piece of paper, whatever you got, grab a pen, and jot down key ideas. For example, here's an example. Let's say I have a post-it note, not much space on the post-it note, right? So the first thing I would do is I would probably put a bullet point and I would say practice. Now, that's all I would say. Why do I only use the word practice? Because here's the thing about creating speaking lines or creating notes in general when you're writing down notes. So I'm hopefully, actually, no, I don't want to go off the assumption. So the ideal way to take notes is to write the notes in your own words. Now, why is that important? I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening probably attended university, right? Why do your professors tell you to not copy exactly the same notes that is on their lecture and rather just kind of rewriting your own words? It's because your own words will help you remember. You understand your words. Now, back to my speaking outline, my little post-it note that just has the word practice on it. Why do I only write the word practice? It's because the word practice, when I look at it, it's going to trigger my memory about what I need to say. And the reason I wrote practice is because, again, this speech is, or this video and podcast is about practicing. So the first thing I can write is like, okay, that's the topic, right? If I want to add a few more words, I can say practice, comma, no speaking time or no time. Something like that, right? Just to be a little bit more specific if I want. So the first thing is literally practice, and then I can say no speaking time. That could be my first point, my little bullet point. Now, this is how I want you to think about words, and this is how I want you to think about communication. So the beautiful thing about words, like literally words, is that words are just symbols. Symbols is the same thing as emojis. Words help trigger an identity or a definition or a meaning. We give meaning to words. And a great example of that is slang. For example, the word yo, right? I just came up with it right now. The word yo. I don't know if that's in the dictionary or not, but when I say the word yo, Y-O, most of y'all, or at least if you're from Los Angeles, you're going to think when I say the word yo or write down the word yo, you're going to think hello, welcome, hi, hey, something along those lines, right? Other people might think differently depending on your experience with yo. But if I write yo or I text yo to someone, one of my friends, they're all going to know that yo means what's up, hi, hello. I'm trying to talk to them, right? That's what words and language is. They're symbols. It's the same thing with emojis. Now, let's say the peach emoji, right? The peach emoji means different things for different people and for different ages. If you text me a peach, I'm gonna think, ooh, I wanna go to the grocery store, right? I'm hungry because that looks delicious. That's what happens if you text me a peach. Now, a peach emoji might mean something different to you. It might mean something different to 14-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40, 50, it doesn't matter, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a peach. It's a peach symbol. But the meaning of said peach will differ. Now, applying that same philosophy and that idea into your speaking outline, in your speaking outline, you shouldn't have complete sentences. You shouldn't have so many words because what's the point of a speaking outline? It's there to just help you stay on track. So the first tip to kind of practice or be prepared for your speech with no practice time is create a dope and simple to follow speaking outline for you to understand. And again, everyone's speaking outline will be different. And the amount of words will be different, but your speaking outline is for you. If someone were to look at your speaking outline, they might not understand what it means, but to you it makes sense, right? So again, it's literally just a post-it note, a note card of just notes of the order of your presentation. First bullet point could be practice. Second bullet point for me, excuse me, can be creating a speaking outline. Third bullet point can be dog. Fourth bullet point could be peach. It doesn't matter. Those words might not mean anything to you, but they mean something to me. And that's how you create a speaking outline. They're just little words or phrases, something simple to help trigger a memory, to trigger meaning in your presentation. Now, I know that a lot of y'all, it's still going to be very hard to create a simple speaking outline and give a great presentation, because I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna panic or gonna have a lot of anxiety. Say, oh my god, I only have a few words on this. I need to write full down notes, and then. But here's the thing: if you write long sentences or long phrases on your speaking outline, guess what you're gonna do? You're going to you're going to rely on that speaking outline too much, and then you're going to read that sentence and you're going to read and read and read and read. It's the same thing of having too much text on a presentation slide where you're literally just reading off the slides. That doesn't equate to a great presentation. If you're going to just put everything on your presentation slides, you might as well just send me the slides and you not even give me a presentation, because we're wasting everyone's time. I can read faster than you deliver a presentation, right? But going back to how to create or how to prepare for a speech with little or no time, create a speaking outline, get a post-it note, just jot down key points, make sure obviously they follow the formula, and again, use words that help you that trigger a memory for you. It's your own unique speaking outline. Okay, moving forward. Number 2, how to prepare for a speech with little or no speaking time. 2 is start with a story. In your introduction, just start with a story. And hopefully you've heard this often, but stories always sell. Stories, everyone loves a good story. How do we know that? Because think about it. Do you watch TV? Do you watch movies? Do you get to know people? Do you have friends? Those are all stories. Your friends have stories to share when they gossip, when they talk about their day. Even social media has stories, air quotes, right? Instagram has stories. They sell stories. That's what brands and companies do. That's what Nike does, right? They sell stories. Everyone sells a story because humans are natural storytellers. That's how history was kind of created. It's the sharing of stories, right? So if all else fails, introduction. If someone asks you to give you a speech right now, guess what you can do? You can always start with the story. It will always work. And it always works, but people still don't do it. And why is starting a story so great and so effective with little or no preparation time? It's because you're using one of the artistic proofs, which is pathos, as someone call it, right? Which is selling emotion. And that's what great presentations consist of, and that's what great speakers do. They sell you emotion. The idea isn't novel for the most part. They're selling a story to help to make you buy into a brand, make you buy into a product. The same thing and same rule can be applied to your presentations. Think about your favorite interviews with your favorite celebrities. Why do you watch interviews of celebrities, or why do you watch interviews, or why do you follow people on Instagram? It's because you want to see their story. You want to see how they transition throughout life, how you want to keep up with their lives. You want to see their story. So if you want to just give spontaneous, impromptu styles presentations, at any point, you can always start with a story. And here's a tip: always have a couple great stories in the back of your mind that are relatable to the audience. Just tell a story. And one example I'll give y'all that I don't know why it came to my mind was a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was invited to a wedding. So here's the thing: I used to love, I don't know anymore, but I used to love partying. I used to love drinking. I used to love having fun, right? I love having fun with my friends. I love people when I'm ready to be around people. Sometimes I need time to recharge, but I digress. So I was at the wedding, and then I was getting drunk. I was quite intoxicated. I'm not gonna lie. I was there just having dinner, and I was just sitting there with friends, just chatting. And the groom and the bride, they were making their speeches to the audience. And then all of a sudden, the groom, which is my friend, looked over to me out of panic and said, Brian, oh, Brian gives speeches. Brian, can you give me a speech? Can you give a speech? And everyone there who knew me, which was a large percentage because my friend invited a lot of our college friends, and me fucking intoxicated, I'll be like, I'm not gonna like. Luckily, I was able to function. I'm not even gonna lie, but I happily agreed. Why? Because I got invited to the wedding. Okay, I'm not gonna say no, right? Because that would be pretty fucked up, simply put. So they handed me the mic, and then I gave a speech, impromptu style, at a wedding. And guess what I did? I started with the story. Now, how did I start off the story? I shared something personal about myself. I think I said something along the lines of, I don't believe in love. And everyone was like, what the fuck? How can you say that at a wedding? And then, guess what came? A story after that statement. And I talked about one of my favorite movies, which is 500 Days of Summer. Now, if you don't know about the movie, I'll just keep it simple. It's a love story, but it's not. The movie follows a guy who's super sad, who he's just very unhappy with his life. But he meets this girl, and he is fucking infatuated with this girl. But this girl early on says like, "Hey, I don't want anything serious, right? But I like having fun with you." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I can have fun." But he's in love with this girl. But eventually, the story ends with his heart being broken, right? This girl breaks up with him and stuff like that. And then I talk about how this movie made me not believe in love, because it's like, how can this guy who is so nice and so sweet just be so heartbroken by this girl? And then I say, but when I look at you two, you show me that love is real, or that love can exist, or some shit like that. I don't remember. I'm just kind of freestyling. I'm just having a conversation with y'all. But it's something along the lines like that, where I start off the speech where I don't believe in love, and then I explain the story of 500 Days of Summer. I can't really explain the movie that well because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot it, but I love it. That was one of my favorites. And then I just knew it was a love story, but it wasn't. But I remember it broke my heart because I watched it when my first real like love, my real first girlfriend broke my heart. She was dope. I love her to death. But then and then I brought it back to the point, right, which is my friends. But seeing you two shows me that love. That shit was fucking cute as hell. Okay? Okay, but I digress. But notice here, that was a simple story. I pulled that out of my butt, okay? But that story was true. And that story I knew. Why? Because one of my favorite movies is 500 Days Summer. So, use stories. They will always work. Now, obviously, it goes without saying. I mean, if I'm to my whole horn, everybody there loved it. But I digress. I'm not here to show off or anything. Okay, moving forward. Last practice technique: provide great examples, or just provide relatable examples. Now, one thing I want you to think about is when you think of examples, you can also think of stories. Examples can be stories, right? They provide great explanations. It's kind of like what I did in my previous point. which is start with a story and then provide an example of the wedding and how I was kind of pressured to give an impromptu speech, right? So provide those examples. Now, they don't have to be personal. They can be someone else's example. I only provide that example because I don't know why I felt like sharing it. Hopefully y'all like it. Hopefully y'all are just having fun with me because I'm having a blast. Okay. But third tip is just provide great examples. This is one thing a lot of people don't understand is that when you're trying to make a point, not everyone will get it. Not everyone will understand where you're coming from, right? It's all about perspective. So, how do you help people gain perspective or get a little bit more insight on your own perspective? Provide a relatable example that a lot of people can understand. Now, if your example is great, but you're unsure whether or not people will get the reference or get the example, you can always explain it. Kind of like what I did with my 500 days of summer reference, right? I kind of explained the story a little bit. Again, I didn't do a great job because I kind of don't remember the movie. I remember I loved it though, but you get the point. But the great thing is, y'all are smarter than me. Y'all will do a better job than me. Okay, so just a quick recap. Why? Because I am getting thirsty and I think it's time. I have other things to do. Okay, quick recap on how to prepare for your speech with little to no practice time. Number one, create a speaking outline. Again, reminder, it can literally be a post it note. Use words that trigger a memory because words are just symbols, and these symbols should help you give meaning to these symbols. So your speaking outline should be simple. Don't try to stay away from writing complete sentences. You don't have time for that, and they're not gonna. It's not gonna help you out because you're gonna have the tendency to just read what you wrote. So avoid that. Number two, start with the story. Stories will always work, and they will continue to work even for the rest of humanity. Because humans are natural storytellers, we buy into stories. We always do, and we always will. So you can always start with a story. Number three, provide great examples. Again, and these examples can be more stories. Sure, you can use statistics, which is great, right? You need to use things like that. But remember, these examples, they need to be relatable. Your audience must understand the concept. These examples are used to help, again, reinforce ideas that your audience is trying to understand. Okay, so this is another lesson. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have any questions, just email me. All right, take care, everyone. This concludes our lesson for today. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at prof.brianhy@gmail.com. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.